We've now come to part 2, and we're going to be talking about Judas. So let's get into it. Jesus said unto him, Have I been with you so long? Have I been so long time with you, sorry, and yet hast thou not known me, Philip? When Philip asked him to show him the Father, he that hath seen me hath seen the Father. He that has seen me has seen the Father. Again, when Christ spoke, whenever he spoke, just about every single thing that he did was in the Old Testament in some way, shape, or form that's recorded in the New. The Old Testament was his script. Jacob and Esau's story is one of the reasons that he makes this statement as well, besides claiming deity, right? He that has seen me has seen the Father. Here's how this works. Jacob, the father, Jacob, who is a supplanter, which we just spoke about, had, right? Christ is a supplanter, took our place. Jacob had 12 sons. Christ had 12 apostles. One son is lost, right? This is why this short is called the lost son of a father. Our focus is Judas. The disciple or one apostle who Christ had sent is lost as well. So Judas is that individual who is lost, one of 12. So it's a prophecy. Like I said, these are things that are very, very clear prophecies, and no other religious body on the planet outside of Christianity can do what we do with the Bible, with any book. And even those quote unquote things like Nostradamus, where they have to stretch things, it's not even so frequent as we can see. Everything in the Bible is a prophecy, right? Literal event yet prophecy. And it's really truly so. John 17:12 says, While I was with them in the world, I kept them in thy name, those that thou gavest me, I have kept, and none of them is lost, but the son of perdition, that the scriptures might be fulfilled, right? So the apostasy of Judas, his perdition status, is a fulfillment of Bible scripture. Christ knew that because he understood the Old Testament scriptures. If we learn typology the way that Christ learned it or he understood it, we'll never be able to know it on that level, obviously. The man was a man, yet still it was God in the flesh. And he was fully committed to the Father. There are things in us that are keeping us from understanding things the way that Jesus did. But when we have a decent understanding of prophecy, the Bible will become our script, and we will stop chasing this one and that one to figure out what's going to come, this pope, this president, that one. We will know from the Bible what and when it will happen, right? We'll know clearly. It'll be less guesswork going on amongst us as Seventh-day Adventists, as Christians, right? Less guesswork going on when we understand the Bible like that and we use it like a script. Now, Judas and Dan, one of 12. Judas and Dan, one is lost, right? We already spoke about this. Dan is a serpent, by the way, and an adder in the path. Jacob, his father, said, I've waited for thy salvation, O Lord. Matthew chapter 13:10. And ye are all clean, but not all. Obviously, Dan is that one. Judas is that one who was not clean, who Dan was a type of. Jesus answered and said unto them, Have not I chosen you 12, and one of you is a devil? So serpent and the devil. The devil is a great dragon and that old serpent in the book of Revelation chapter 12, right? So Judas is a symbol and Dan is a symbol of someone both possessed of Satan. Now, the traitor's name. The name is even implied in the Bible. And like I said in the last thing, Ellen White's name is in the Bible as well, right? So is James White, so is William Miller. You can go and find these people, and not just Adventists. The Reformation and Reformers are in the Bible as well. It's not just us. Christian history is laid out in the Bible in the order of the sanctuary, like I showed you at the beginning. So Judah is the name of Jacob's son. It's one of 12 with the name Judah, right? Come and let us sell him. Now, just to kind of give you some background, Joseph is a symbol of Christ, just like his father was as well. And his brothers decided that, well, they hated him because of family dynamics and they were going to sell him. But whose idea was it to sell Joseph? It was Judah. Judah sold Joseph, or his idea to sell Joseph for 20 pieces of silver, like we see on your screen here, right? And they were content. And they drew and lifted Joseph up out of the pit, and they sold Joseph to the Ishmaelites for 20 pieces of silver. And they forsook him just the same way they were content. Joseph's brothers didn't run, but intellectually they forsook him and consented to the selling of him to the Ishmaelites. The Ishmaelites, I won't even get into that, that's powerful. Hagar's children, Galatians chapter 4, okay? Think about that. They sold him to the Ishmaelites. They were content to do so, so they forsook him. They were not their brother's keeper, they forsook him. The disciples forsook Christ, same way, right? So there's a forsaking and a forsaking on both accounts. Now, Matthew 26:15, and said unto them, what will ye give me, and I will deliver him unto you? And they coveted with Judas, right? Him, Judas, which is the same name, Judah. Judah is the same name as Judas. Judas is a mistranslation of the name in the New Testaments, right? It's a transliteration is what it should be, not a translation. So, and Judas sold him for 30 pieces of silver, right? He that hath seen me, Christ said, hath seen the Father. And that brings this part to its end, and we'll continue as we go. I hope you're enjoying them. These are just glimpses of what's there. Like I said, every name, every son in Jacob's 12 sons has a role to play that reflects one of the apostles. So Christ's whole story is there, right? Even the order in which Christ chose his apostles is foreshadowed in the Old Testament. So Christ was literally like, as he's picking, going down the list, Peter, all the others, he was following the Old Testament script. Again, I want us to understand that, because when we get to talking about prophecy and the history of Christianity and the rise of the Adventist church, I'll show you it's more than just they that keep the commandments and have the testimony of Jesus Christ. That's cool. It's good. It's profitable. But it's way more clear in the Old Testament than that. That Revelation's what we do. Revelations 12:17 and 19:10, that's skimming the surface. That doesn't even come close to revealing what actually happened. So God bless you. Continue to watch and continue to pray and study. Look out for the next one.